When we talk about justice, imagine the following situation. Does it make sense to you that the punishment that we give somebody who parked illegally will be given totally disregarding all other types of violations in a certain legal ecosystem? That means absolute justice. You parked illegally, 10 years in jail. You stole, 10 years in jail. You murdered, 10 years in jail. Does it make sense to you that the attention a judicial system gives you, or the punishment that you receive for a violation, will be absolute and will ignore in every way other types of violations in society? It probably doesn't. And you're right. Because most judicial systems, at least in democracies, are comparative. There's a sliding scale of punishment based on the type of violation that people are accused of conducting. Comparative justice as a principle for Israel advocacy basically introduces this concept into the dialogue you have with people who are condemning Israel. Let's be clear. It's not asking them not to condemn Israel, nor is it claiming automatically that Israel is justified. But it does ask them to please relate to Israel in a way that represents the concept of comparative justice, meaning let's look at Israel and compare it to another 192 countries around the world, and then let's weigh the impact of the violations Israel is allegedly accused of conducting, and then based on that, let's give it attention. Because any other approach is the absolute approach. And in most cases, people don't believe in the absolute approach. So what you need to do is you do need to get a little bit more educated if you don't know the facts already. You need to understand what's happening in Congo and Sudan and North Korea. You need to understand what's happening in China and Russia. You even need to understand what's happening in England and in France and in America. For example, in France, they passed a law that Muslim women will not be able to cover their head. In America, there's the Patriot Act where you're not allowed to see your lawyer for weeks on end. There are different countries around the world who are doing different things, many of which are considered certain levels of violations of human rights. And when people talk to you about Israel and they ignore what all the other countries around the world are doing in their attempt to combat terrorism or to maintain security for their civilians, really what people are doing is they're creating a double standard. And for the international community to uphold a double standard is actually a violation, a worse violation of basic principles of justice than even the ones Israel is being claimed of violating itself. So use comparative justice to create a greater perspective. Use comparative justice to basically lead the conversation to a deeper level of analysis, and use it to educate the people you talk with so that they have a better picture of what's happening around the world, and maybe that will get them to kind of reconsider how severe they really think the damage that Israel is allegedly causing really is.